Now, when they're posted privately to the teacher, the student expects to get, some feedback from it. Whereas in this format, the student can get feedback from the community. So people will like what they've done. The teacher might, come along and like it or something. So that's the other thing a teacher can do. Rather than actually responding to everyone in this, they can just go through and like everything. And that the student feels happy when something gets liked. But yeah, the challenge is if you are using ones where it gets posted privately to the teacher, then there is an expectation of feedback. Even if the courses you joined didn't provide feedback, I think there's still an expectation. Probably you probably expected to get some response because you actually did work and you're like, who liked it? So I think in that sense, when you're designing the MOOC, you have to be very careful which things are posted privately to the teacher. And that's one of the reasons why in this type of course, there are many different formative activities throughout the course. And through those, the student gets feedback from the community. They can see that they're progressing. And then at the end, that's when they post something privately to the teacher. And that's when they get more formal feedback. So I think in the MOOC, you have to limit those as much as possible. If it's a really open MOOC, then you may have none of those. And I think that's usually the best way in really large courses. You don't have anything that requires teacher feedback, because then you'll be spending all your time going through it. So it can be quite daunting. But in these sort of courses, when you're offering some credit, you would want to review something. So I think it's how you manage the balance. So there's rapid changeover. I've lost my mouse. Okay, so this is a discover and share activity. So students watch a video, and this video is not loading for me, but it's a team of people changing tires on a car very, very quickly. So it's like showing how efficient a process can be. Now, the students then have to share examples of other people doing things extremely efficiently and the process that they go through to do those. So this is quite fun for students because they get to look around and see what else is a really good example. Other people like their examples. They get feedback from the community. And also it's good for the teacher because they didn't have to actually create new videos themselves. So there's quite a few you can go through. This one? Oh, okay, cool. You've done this one, yeah. Yeah, this is cool. This is a take a turn activity. Let me find it in here. My mouse has actually disappeared on the computer, so it's very funny. Maybe I can find it myself. So the take a turn activity is an interesting one because take a turn, I don't know if I'm on the internet actually. If take a turn, what you do is you share something and then someone else responds to what you've done, and usually you might have something that they do. So in the take a turn activity, try to get my internet working. Oh. So in the take a turn activity, you introduce yourself and you say something about yourself, why you're doing the course and what you hope to get out of it. And then you share a picture of where you are in the world. But unlike the other activity, you don't say where you are. You just leave it to the students to guess. And the students then have to guess the location, where you are. And they can ask yes or no questions to get hints about it. So what's really cool is that it starts getting students used to interacting with each other. It breaks the ice. And also, you also develop a connection between someone because you might have been to the place that they've taken a photo of. So you really get to know each other through that. So it'd be nice to show you, but I think the internet's not doing it for me. Yeah, crowdsourcing is cool. So crowdsourcing, there's a few ways you can do crowdsourcing. There's an example from a course called Global Entrepreneurship, which is run by Professor Mushtaq from Taylor's University in KL. And in this course, this was a very interesting course because the students actually formed teams in the course and started projects. And then those projects, they produced a presentation, videos about the project, sometimes a prototype, and then they actually posted that on a crowdfunding website. And they actually had people from around the world sponsor them to start the project. And about 70 projects were started. Only 10 were funded successfully. So they learned a lot about entrepreneurship. Most of the time you will fail, but it's a good experience nonetheless. And the students from that, they obviously got a lot of feedback. They worked together. They came up with project ideas. So it was really, really cool. So actually I have a more in-depth example of that I want to go through now as well. So I guess what this falls into is really the project-based learning. Oh, it's cut off. How do we get the rest of the screen? But that's okay. I can just tell you what it is. Yeah. So there's a difference between sort of doing a project and the project-based learning. And I just wanted to identify that. So when you do project-based learning, it's really the teachers asking the students for their ideas. They're coming up with the ideas themselves. They're finding things that they're interested in. They're finding people they want to work with. There's a lot of choice involved on the part of the student. But if you're just giving the student a fixed project, then it's really still a teacher-centered view of the world. The teacher has decided on the project. They've set the groups. They've given directions. So there's a subtle difference, but it makes a big difference in sort of the outcome for the student. So I wanted to show you a pretty cool example of project-based learning. So, and this also ties in, I wonder why the screen is cut. Maybe.
I think it's how the Mac. Sometimes the Mac does this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that. Perfect. Okay, so this is a pretty cool example. So this combines project-based learning and also how the online course can enable physical experiences and interaction sort of in the real world. Now, I use this example because you'll see this course actually just finished. But what's cool about this course is that it's a collaboration between two universities as well, between Taylor's University and Kuwait University. And in this course, the idea is that students work together to solve some of the grand challenges of engineering. So there are 14 grand challenges, and this course focuses on 3 of them. It focuses on the personalized learning challenge. It focuses on healthcare and making solar energy efficient. So students in this course have to come up with solutions to some pretty big problems. And it's a MOOC, so students from all around the world can join. And then they'll come up with ideas to solve that problem. So in the course, there's all sorts of different materials. And the course actually guides them through the process. So there are a few sort of corrective activities along the way. But for the most part, the entire time, the students are working on their projects. They're getting feedback. They're sharing their progress. And you can see from the modules here how the students are kind of taken through it. They form their teams. They decide on the challenge they want to do. They learned about entrepreneurship and how they can address the challenge. Hopefully they come up with a breakthrough. And then the successful teams will actually go to Kuwait. So they'll meet in person in Kuwait, and they'll present their work to the university and to the rest of the world. So it's an online course that culminates in a real-life experience. And the teams that are formed through the course don't necessarily know each other beforehand. So the students in the course, there are about 600 students or 650 students from around the world. I think from about 70 countries, so quite diverse. A lot of them are from Kuwait, so it's Kuwait. There's quite a few from Malaysia, India, what else do we have? U.S. My geography is very bad, so I won't embarrass myself in the other ones.
Which one is Kuwait?
I think it's that one.
Oh.
That is a little one.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's interesting because the course also had a lot of corporate sponsorship as well. So when you're doing something involving sort of big projects or challenges, you'll find that companies are also interested in sponsoring that. So this project was really, the main sponsor was General Electric. And General Electric obviously has a big presence across the region, actually across the whole world. They build a lot of stuff. And then there were a number of